I've contacted Paramount. I'm going to start looking for a lawyer. This needs to be sorted now. I thought I would use this opportunity to teach my ascending fellow brethren what to do in situations where you come across shock, like where you have to deal with a shocking situation. Um, in the last few days, I've found out that Night World, Elon Musk stole Andre's dragon, which is, and then today I find out that the Dear Satan course has been stolen from. I've put up more than enough evidence to prove that I have been writing that movie for well over a year. Right, so instead of jumping up and down, the average person would be crying, getting angry, having a complete meltdown because for a couple of days in a row now, I've just found out that all my stuff is getting nicked. But I knew when I started putting my stuff up on my WordPress days that people were going to nick my stuff. I've always known that when I put my stuff out there, there is a chance that people are going to nick my stuff. I've always known that. I know that by law, my stuff is protected by copyright, regardless of whether I put the C beside the name or not. I've always known that the second I started telling people my ideas, there was a chance my stuff was going to get nicked. And my stuff does get nicked. It gets nicked all the time. Elon Musk has nicked a lot of my stuff, my exes, my students, random people online, but this takes the biscuit. I'm furious. I'm absolute. Whoever saw my stuff, because I was like hashtagging like Disney and Paramount and all of those sort of places, like they are hashtagged in a lot of my stuff because I was trying to get attention. I'm trying to make money to get out of here. I'm trying to make money to build this art school so that the kids can make all the stuff that I'm creating and that, and people just keep nicking from me all the time. But like I said, I have always known that when I put my stuff out there, people are going to try and nick it. But it's a test of faith. It's to test people's morality, to test people's ethics. Nobody around me has any morals or ethics. Like my ex and that has stolen so much from me. Like with Elon Musk, they don't have a creative bone in their body, so they have to nick everything from people like me. But the reason why I do put my stuff out there, and this is why I'm making this video, to show you how to look at things using logic, doubt and reason. When you're a high functioning creative empath, you're going to put stuff out there people are going to take credit for. I don't have a name yet. I don't have justice yet. I don't have my money. How I'm going to deal with it was I said to Father, what do I do? And he said, you don't need to do anything. It's being taken care of. He said, find the lesson. So that's what I'm doing. Like I said, when stuff happens, find the lesson. The reason why I put stuff out there, not only to test people's morals and ethics and all of that, but it was because if there was anyone who was interested in working with me, investing in what I was doing, it was giving them a sample of what it was that I was trying to build. And Paramount was one of the people that I hashtagged. So whoever's gone to them with that idea has obviously seen what I've been doing and then gone to Paramount and said, hey, I have a great idea for a movie. And it's been stolen straight from me. Obviously, I'm going to deal with it legally. I'll get lawyers. I'll start looking for lawyers and that. But with me myself, how am I dealing with it? I'm using logic. And the logical thing is, they've made the movie. There's nothing I can do. So, in the meantime, while I'm still waiting to make my movie, I'll let them sit back and make their money while I'm just quietly getting lawyers involved. And then I'll sue them. There's nothing I can do. They've made the movie, it's out of my hands. When it comes time to us making our movie, which is an animated movie, like Operation Prep and Landing kind of style, and it's a musical and it's a comedy, and it's not ridiculous like watching Jack Black. When I said in my description that he reminds me of Satan from South Park, mixed with Hades from Hercules, they've made him like Satan but South Park. Satan like South Park Jack Black, but just the usual Jack Black, retarded like nonsense. Whereas my Satan, I wrote this story to teach children about sin, about why you don't want to sin, and how Satan is Santa's brother. And they had a falling out years ago. Like, I created this whole story about how Satan has to go on a quest in order to learn how to become Santa for the little girl Erin on Christmas Eve. And like, there's this whole lesson about how he's finding himself, how he's learning not to hide who he is, that if people know who he really is, they have nothing to be afraid of. So it's about this journey that he goes on in order to fulfill this role for this little girl. And it's also a lesson for children about how when you're good and you don't sin and you don't do things that make God or Satan angry, you never have to worry about meeting Satan. But that there's also a side to Satan that you don't know about, and that he's funny and he's quirky and he cares about children and he loves animals and he loves to, bake and potter around in his garden and that sort of thing. So there's this whole, it's a movie that teaches children about vice and virtue, the difference between being a good person and being a bad person, and having saintly virtues instead of like sinning vices and that sort of thing. Because I'm trying to teach people the true meaning of the occult and who God really is and who Satan really is, and the roles that they play in our life, and how you want to do everything you can to avoid ever getting on Satan or God's wrong side. So there's this massive occult moral message in that movie that Paramount have just stolen and turned it into some ridiculous, farcical, oh, I'm Jack Black, blah, 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 sort of just ridiculous. They've just gone for like the quick Christmas movie sale, and completely bypassed the whole message, and how Erin at the end, the little girl at the end, they turned my big sister's character into like a 15-year-old kid that can't spell Santa. I mean, he's probably about 10 or something, but I mean, my little girl, it's based on my sister. I made my big sister my character, my main character, as my way of thanking her for standing by my side when I was locked up, because she was the only one who stayed loyal to me. Her and three nephews out of like hundreds of gajillions of siblings and all of that. So, how I'm choosing to deal with this situation is I'm angry, like I'm furious, because it's like people have just been, since Trump's election, stealing my ideas for my foster home. Like the look, I just calm down, Debbie. All I want to do is build a creative art school. Ever since 2016, 2017, all I've wanted to do is write books and teach children how not to be afraid of the paranormal, and that there's a difference between the paranormal and the supernatural. And I've been working my ass off for years. I have had to fight people who have wanted me dead left, right, and centre because they don't want me building this school. Because when I build the school, I'm going to be rescuing children from human trafficking busts. And everybody, every man and their goddamn mother loving dog has just been taking, and I just let it go because I know that once I get justice and I get the money and I get these lawyers involved, um, I get it all back tenfold. So not only do I get back everything they stole from me, but I'll also get back all the money they made from what they stole from me as well, as the as well as the lawsuit for plagiarism and copyright infringements and identity theft and all of that. So it's like I'm biding my time. They've already made it. There's nothing I can do other than go to a lawyer. I've let Paramount know they've stolen my idea, and that I will be contacting a lawyer on Monday, but I'm going to start researching them now. But when situations arise like this, where people are stealing your stuff, I know in the games industry it is a thing where a lot of the artists and programmers and that, where their managers take credit for their work all the time. You know what it's like. Instead of getting angry, just use logic. And if it requires getting the law involved, if it requires getting HR involved, get them involved. But make sure that you have your receipts to prove that you are the original creator. Don't just go charging in without having evidence. I've shown them all my evidence that goes back as far as October of 2024, but I'm sure I've got stuff from earlier than that as well, from at least August, September of 2024. I even got Naib Bukele. I messaged him and I showed him all my stuff, and I was like, you should do the voice of Satan, because that's how I see him in my head when he's in human form. Kind of that K-pop sort of, but when he's Santa, when he's dressed in Santa mode, and he's got the beard and everything, he reminds me of Naib Bukele. So I was being cheeky and saying, oh, why don't you be the voice of Satan? Even my son thought about being the voice of Satan. Even my nephew, like, I talk about this movie all the time. I'm really proud of it because of the message that it sends. And they've just taken it and just turned it into some cheap Christmas piece of tat, like it was nothing. So don't get mad, get lawyers. If I'm just so tired of it. I'm so tired of being stolen from. But it's because all my ideas are original. It's because I think on a level that normal people can't think on that kind of creative level. So they think if they just take it, oh, she's never going to find out. But they forget who I work for. I'm the daughter of God. Like, I work, I'm God's right hand woman. And they're not stealing from me. They're stealing from God. God is the one that is saying, this is what you need to do to make the most amount of money so that you can take care of all these kids. So now, when you're on an ascending path and you are a victim to this sort of thing, use logic. There's nothing you can do. Get lawyers involved, get HR involved, get the people involved, bang the drums, and then sit back and let God take over, because it's like they've broken some pretty big laws, not just judicial ones, but karmic ones as well. So once you've done what you've had to do to alert people to the situation, just sit back and let God take over and use logic and know, okay, there's nothing I can do about what's just happened, but I will get justice, and it's more money to add to the pot because I didn't know they were making this movie, and I thought I was going to be getting my money from the lawsuits with this person over here and that person over there. So this is another lawsuit that gets to get brought into it where I'll get even more money out of it. So it's a bit crap, but it's going to be free money. And then I can use the money from that to make the actual one, the real one. I will be making sure that they either uh, don't make like they either have to take the movie away, or they're going to have to change the name of it because I'm not changing the Dear Satan clause. It's a whole story. Satan writes the laws of the karmic universe. He just forgot to put in a Dear Satan clause. What happens if a kid writes to Satan instead of Santa? He didn't think of that one. It's like a whole scene. I've got all my documented notes in that for this movie, so I've got more than enough evidence. So now I'll get the lawyer involved. Paramount now know I've hashtagged them in on everything. I will send them an email as well, but I know for a fact that they've checked the stuff, and I'm just going to sit back and let God deal with it now because they didn't steal from me, they stole from God. When you're having an ascension and people do stuff like this, it automatically gets handed over to God to deal with. God even says in the Bible, don't get angry, give it to me. Instead of getting vengeance, give it to me. So that's what you need to do. It's a test of faith. If you're prone to have outbursts or panic or stress or cry, before you had your ascension, once you start moving into automatically going into logic and doubt and reason and compromise and instinct and that, because remember, you're not born with intuition. You're born with instinct, but you're not born with intuition. So your instincts is already like imprinted into you when you're born. And I've always known that everything I put out was at risk of being stolen. But my intuition has always said to me, but if that happens, God's going to take over. They'll have to deal with God. You stole from vulnerable children. You stole from victims of the most depraved kind of social situations that anyone could ever ask for. And you stole from them. You're stealing food from them. You're stealing healing from them. You're stealing an income from them. You're stealing their sanity. You're stealing the reparation of their soul, just so that you can make a few bucks. And you stole the idea from a woman who was given the download direct from God. So it's done. I'll get the lawyer involved, and then I'm just going to sit back and let God take over because he's going to be my lawyer. He'll be my representative, guaranteed. And whoever it was that went to them and sold them the idea should be shitting themselves because they've obviously seen what I've put out and thought, oh, I'm going to go to them and say, probably to save their job or something, and now it's going to cost them dearly. So, because when you steal from me, you're stealing from God. When I got into this, when I knew that I wanted to make the Art of Creation Foundation, but when I thought it was going to be in New York with my soon-to-be ex-husband, I was putting him through college classes in prison while he was off having affairs with pedophiles and child groomers and all of that. All these women off Facebook and stuff. I was going without food, without shoes on my feet to put him through college, so he could get a business degree to help me run the business side of this school. When I was coming up with all of this stuff, I basically just gave it over to the universe and said, just tell me what to write, tell me what you need to do, what you need me to do. I'll do whatever you need me to do, but I need to make as much money as I can, because I don't ever want the taxpayer of any country I build a foundation in, hang on, ever having to complain about footing the bill for the children that we rescue from the borders, because a lot of these kids are probably not going to be citizens of that country. They might be coming from countries on the other side of the world. We don't know who we're going to be rescuing at these borders, and with these helping the police and all of that with their raids. But we'll have our animals there to bring the kids to safety and that. And I don't want the taxpayer having to foot the bill. So when God started stepping into the picture and we became friends again, I basically said to him, basically, don't let me screw up. Don't let me put anything out there that's going to fail. Where I'm going to invest all my money from the lawsuit and that into something that could fail, because I don't want to ever have to shut the doors. I don't want to live with the shame of running the business so badly that we end up having to shut the doors and the kids have to go back to whatever it is. I don't want to give these children hope and thinking, oh my God, we're finally going to have like a safe space to be creative. Oh my God, I'm not going to be used to be trafficked anymore. I'm actually going to be safe and blah, blah, blah. I don't want them to have that hope in their heart, and then for me to be the one to crush their dreams when the doors get shut. So I know that I risk a lot when I put stuff out there. I know I've had people say you need to keep your mouth shut, stop talking about your ideas, but I have to. It was my test of faith. It was part of the thing that God said. You have to trust me, and whatever you print, whatever you put out, whatever you expose, there's going to be a reason for it. And if people steal from you, just trust that there's a lesson in it. There's a good reason why this is happening. It's also proof that I'm good at what I do, because people steal my speeches, they steal my ideas. Trump stole my manifesto. Even Keir Starmer's stolen some of my ideas. This whole foster house orphanage thing that they're suddenly all coming out with, it was all ideas that they took from me. Trump's manifesto just before he won the election, he stole a lot of those ideas from my manifesto. If I was Prime Minister manifesto, Chris with my oils. He even tried to steal my bakery. He called it Psycho Bakes Wakefield. For Mama Bear's Kitchen Cafe and Bakery. All my ideas have pretty much been stolen. But I'm not in a position to do anything about it now. So while they're sitting making all that money, when I come out of this and I've got the lawyers to put in place to start going after all the people that stole my ideas, all the money they've been making in the meantime is basically getting fat for me. They're fattening up the calf for me, because it's all money that's going to come to me. So they're making me free money, and then they'll have to go down in the law books as being liars and thieves and plagiarisers, and yeah, which is a pretty dark tag to have when you're in the entertainment industry. Nobody wants to work with someone who's been known to steal other people's ideas, and when it comes out that they've stolen a project that was written for vulnerable children to create at my art school, it's going to be even worse. And then when people find out that these children were to help me create this stuff so that we could raise money to rescue children who are victims of people like Epstein, then that's going to be even worse. So, whoever it was that took that idea to Paramount should be absolutely shitting themselves because they thought they were going to get away with it. But God sees everything. I always find out. And Jack Black is so bad in it. He's so not anything like Satan. Satan is so classy and so refined and like built like a brick, you know what, because like he has to keep it, because he's like the god of hedonism, so it's all about perfection. And then they've made him, and luxury and style and class and sophistication, that's the real Satan. He is the god of hedonism, he's the god of beauty, he's the god of um, the protection of innocence, but he is the god of beauty. He's the god of luxury and class and sophistication. He oozes like liquid gold oil sort of thing. And then you see Jack Black, how they've, oh my God, it's like Beverly Hillbilly. I'm Satan, I'm Jack Black. Like just, oh my God. You know, what an insult. What an insult to God, who's trying to teach children how not to grow up with sin in their heart. So, yeah. So, my little creative empaths out there, my little high funks, if you're dealing with, and I know you will because it happens, when you are dealing with people who are stealing your creative property, don't get angry. Just use logic, doubt, reason, compromise. Trust your instincts. Get a lawyer, get HR involved. Take it to social media, but make sure that you have the receipts to back it up. The fact as well that they even made Jack Black look like the picture that I put up to say this is kind of how I see Satan in my head, on the Instagram where I was originally following and hashtagging them in on all my social media stuff. They've even like given him the horns and the red skin, and the movie's all about how that's his outside persona, and he learns to shed his outside persona to show people the beauty of who he really is on the inside, and he is like he's the god of the protection of innocence. It's just you don't want to get on his bad side, and that's what the whole movie's about. I'd written a whole scene where you actually see his bad side, but it's written in a way that's not scary, but sends a message to children. This is why you don't want to commit sins, because like he's going to be there to protect you, and he will go after anybody who hurts you. But if you do anything that gets on his bad side, this is why you don't want to, sort of thing. And yeah, and I just can't even relate it. I probably, you know what it is as well? I'm probably more insulted that they've turned it into some dumb, idiotic, low IQ, kind of farcical slapstick nonsense. I'm probably more offended by that than the fact that they actually stole the movie, because I'm used to people stealing my stuff, but what people turn it into is so, it's insulting. It just goes to show that they don't get anything that I write or create. They're not on the same level as me, because when they think, oh, well, I'm just going to take that and do my version, their version is like the dumbed down low IQ version, or the rip-off knockoff version. Like Chris just using the same oils when he tried to steal my oils to sell on eBay and all of that. It looked like he was just using grapeseed oil or something. Like he didn't get it at all, and as well as the fact he stole the prototypes and not the finished products. He stole everything before anything had even had a chance to blossom. So yeah, so you're going to deal with people who are going to steal your ideas. They're going to steal your creative property. They're going to steal your identity. Don't get mad. Don't get upset. Don't react in a negative way, because it will just come back on you. Give it over to God. God says, turn the other cheek. Give it over to me. Don't get angry. Give it over to me. Everything that we create is created in the creation frequency. Another word, another name for the creation frequency is the God frequency, because the God frequency, the word God means create, creator, creation. So the God frequency is the creation frequency, because to God, or to be God, or be a God, is to be a creator, right? So everything that we create, that we put down on paper, that we put on canvas, that we turn into an algorithm or a science or an invention or an idea or design or whatever, it comes straight from God. So when you steal from us, you're stealing from God, because we're His messengers. We we write what He wants people to hear. We paint what He wants people to see. And then people take in our books and our music and our creations and our ideas and our art and that, and it makes them become inspired. It makes them go through all sorts of emotions. It makes them ponder their orb. It makes them contemplate. It makes them reevaluate. You have been given a power to inspire and change the minds of people for centuries to come. And that's why you have to go through the test to see whether you are strong enough to be able to go through the ascension and deal with everything that all of that comes with, to see whether you have earned the right to have what it is you create, have that sort of power over people for hundreds of years to come. And so you'll put through all sorts of trials, because God is asking you to. And God is saying, can you do this for me? And I need you to go through this. And I promise at the end of it, you're going to love every minute of who you become and what you create as a result. And you will end up a guru, a legend, a master, the top of your field, with supernatural powers and all of that to boot. Everything you lose, you will get back tenfold if you just have faith in me. And do everything I say and create what I tell you to create, and how and all that. So when people steal from you, they're not just stealing from you, they're stealing from God, because you're His messenger. Whether it's that you're a programmer, a writer, an artist, a singer, a musician, a mathematician, a scientist, an architect, a programmer, a whatever, a freak, geek, nerd, dork, weirdo, social outcast, whatever, the creative minds, you're special. And that's why you're a target. People are drawn to your light because you're special, because you were born to stand out, not blend in. And when you stand out, you draw attention from mostly the wrong kind of people, the people who think they can latch on to you, especially if that's hanging around long enough to get your idea, or to steal your project, or get a piece of the pie, or take the whole pie. You're going to be around that all the time. So you go through this now, so you know how to deal with it when it comes time to signing contracts, and people wanting to invest in you, and people wanting to work with you. By the time you get to that point, and people are respecting your name and your work enough that they're wanting to invest their money and sign contracts and put you out there, you know exactly what to do, you know how to handle it, you know what to look for, and you know by that point, when there's money behind what it is you're creating, everything that you put out going forward will be untouchable by anyone, because now you'll know the pitfalls, and you will have learned all the lessons, and then you can keep your mouth shut. But until people know who you are, everything you put out, before you've signed any contracts, before you've made any money, anything you put out is going to be done with the risk of knowing people are probably going to want to steal it, because when you're special, when you're made to stand out, when you're a light in the dark, people are drawn to that, and they think that they can steal your light or take your light or copy your light. But if they do that, just know that under the laws of the karmic universe, there is an infraction. You are not allowed to take anything from that which is not given freely of a person, of a soul, of a living being, which is why animal and human sacrifices are the most retarded thing anyone could ever possibly do to try and please Satan, because you're basically handing yourself over for eternal damnation. You're not doing it to please Satan, you're doing it to please your own twisted mind, because Satan, like God, would never, ever, 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 ever accept a sacrifice in his name. Ever. So all these people that, made a sacrifice to Satan and all of that, they don't know who they're talking to, they don't know who they're dealing with. It's not the person or the animal or whatever that they sacrifice that goes to Satan. They immediately go to heaven. It's the ones who do the sacrifice that end up going to Satan. And he loves it. He loves collecting souls of the sinners, because the more souls that he gets off the streets, the cleaner the streets are for the children and the animals to run around in. So, another reason why you will be used as bait is to highlight, pinpoint the people in these kind of companies and areas that they need to be wary of. Because what's going to happen now, Paramount are about to get sued because somebody went to them with a stolen idea. Not only is that person going to get into trouble for it, but it's going to reflect really bad on Paramount as well. So then that lesson of that person stealing from me is going to have a knock-on effect to everybody else around them. They're going to lose money, people are going to get fired, there's going to be like public humiliation, all of it, because one person stole an idea from God. So I'm just going to sit back after I contact this lawyer and let the tower fall where they may, and then just start collecting the dollars. But it would have happened so that whoever stole from me and whoever didn't do their fact checking and stuff like that is being highlighted for being immoral and unethical and liars and thieves, and teaching Paramount a lesson about who they buy their stories and ideas and stuff from. When this is done, it is to pinpoint to God and to Satan and the universe, and that these people can't be trusted. You become like bait for people to draw the worms out after the rain so that the birds can come and eat them, so to speak. Yeah, so don't get mad, don't get upset. Just do the logical, reasonable thing and then give it over to God, because it is all a test, and it's a big test. It's a test of faith. But know that if you come through these trials with having taken the moral high ground, using logic and reason, and compromise and doubt and all of the good things that come with a balanced psychological mind, you don't have to worry about a thing, because it will all be taken care of for you. I pretty much imagine that this is going to be over pretty quick. I don't know what the lawyer's going to suggest. They're definitely going to have to pay for it. The thing is all I care about, I need to be able to make my version. So I don't know how we're going to going to have to work that one out, but mine's going to be an animated version, like Operation Prep and Landing kind of graphics, like Wreck-It Ralph kind of graphics, chunky, bright graphics, a little bit more refined though. But yeah, I want to still make my movie. That's all I care about, really. So I'll leave that up to the lawyers to decide. But yeah, I'll sit back now and let God deal with it, because when you deal from God, you're dealing with a whole different class of judgment. There's nothing I can do to them that can be worse to what God's going to do to them. So yeah, so that's just a lesson. I'm just sharing how I'm dealing with it as a lesson to everybody else when it happens to them. And I guarantee you, if you're a high funk and you take stuff from your head and you turn it into a tangible thing that you share with other people outside of you, I guarantee you people are going to steal your stuff, your ideas, take credit for your work. It is going to happen. It's part of the ascension process. It's all to teach you to do with dealing with the low lives, so that when you're swimming with the sharks, you know when not to bleed. And by which I mean getting all the scum out the way now while you're polishing your act, so to speak, while you're polishing the pearl, while you're still forming, still going through a metamorphosis. It's to teach you how to deal with all the toxic scum stuff now, so that when you're dealing with the big boys, when you're swimming with the sharks, you know not to bleed. So when you're dealing with, the big people in the banking field or the music industry, or whether you're dealing with investors or CEOs and management, and like the big companies, like, because obviously we're talking about art and music and movies and video games and that, so I'm going to be a little fish in a big pond. All of this is teaching me how to deal with this stuff now, so that I know not to take any of those mistakes going forward to the sharks, who know that when I come swimming into their ocean, I am indeed a small fish and they won't see me as prey. That's why you go through it. It's to teach you to get ready when you're dealing with the big leagues. And then with the big leagues, don't give anything away unless it's signing a contract, or they pay for it. So this is the test. This gets all the bottom feeders out of the way, so that you know how to deal with the sharks when you swim out into that ocean to play with the other sharks, even though you might be like a little clownfish or a koi or something. But that's why it's done. And also, to teach you faith. God doesn't put you through anything He knows you can't handle, but you have to be the one to remind yourself that you can handle it, because most people give up. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, I don't know what to do. They give up, and then you fail the test, and then you go back down, and then you only get offered an ascension once. If you turn an ascension down, you descend. So yeah, many are called, few are chosen, because you have to have balls of steel. You will have everything thrown at you that you couldn't possibly, any normal person couldn't possibly survive it, coming out of it sane and whole. But not only do you come out of it sane and whole, but you come out of it healed and purified. you you feel like crap when you're going through it. You feel like you're 100 years old, a million grey hairs, you know, all that sort of thing. But when you come out the other side, you look like you've lost 30 years. All the wrinkles have gone, you know, like it's how you feel from just the constant fighting, pushing poop uphill, that constant uphill battle. But when you come down the other side, oh my God. But you will be pushed to your absolute limits. And this is just another thing. But like I said, I have to look at it from a logical point of view. I haven't made my movie yet. Um, they've made it. There's nothing I can do other than I've let them know they've stolen my idea, and I'll get a lawyer on Monday, and then I'll let God take over. But yeah, just know that when it happens to you, they end up having to deal with God. Um, what we create is a privilege, not a right, and these people think they have a right to steal from us, and they don't. So give it all over to God, because I promise you that what He has in store for people like that is a lot worse than anything you could do to them down on earth. So whoever's out there listening to this, if they're the ones that stole my ideas and went to Paramount, I'd be very, 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 very worried if I was them, because this is not going to go down well. And see, the other thing is, this all becomes part of my story. I'm going to make a movie of my life. I'm going to write a book about my life. All this stuff is going to get written into the movie. So the person who stole it, the lawsuit, the issues and all of that, it's never going to go away. They're going to have to live with what they did for the rest of their lives, and it's going to go down in history. Because my story is getting out, my name is getting out, people are starting to look my way. I'm on the precipice of winning this case. I'm literally like, it's like I'm waiting for someone to message me and say, I'm the lawyer representing so and so. You won your case. Here's your money. Here's your kids. Yada yada blah blah blah. Like I'm on the precipice. I can feel it. Um, so I'm just waiting. I'm tired, because what it is I've spent so many years building all of this and having to fight everyone like this on my own. And all I want to do is get to the point where I found somewhere to build this foundation and start getting stuff out there. All I keep thinking about, the only thing I keep focusing on is finding somewhere to call home where I can build this foundation and start making the games and the TV shows. And I can't wait to sit there and see the first game, you know, the first Goldmaster of our game, and the premiere of our first movie, and, you know, the first airing of our show. And that I can't wait to see everything that I've created, like, actually being made. I don't care about love. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to get to the end of this, and I can see it now. So many years of planning, so many years of building and planning and having to deal with bullshit. But all I keep seeing over every hurdle is the kids at the end, on a movie set, on stage, recording their music, doing the voices, acting in movies, dressing up in costume. That's all I keep seeing. Surrounded by people who are just happy to be a part of it. And that's why I do it. So, yeah. So I wanted to share that, because my journey is going to be your journey. I don't know how far along you are in your journey. If you're in your 40s and 50s, you'll probably come quite a long way. You don't really go through the worst of it until you're in your 40s and 50s. But just keep your eyes focused on what's up ahead. Don't 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 look back and don't look around. Just focus on what you know you're building at the end, whether it's that you want to get that recording contract, or you want to get picked for that movie, or you want to make a movie or make a game or get your dream job, or whatever it is that your dream is, that you know that is what you're heading for at the end of your ascension. Just don't take your eyes off that. It doesn't matter what gets thrown up around you from your little side blinder views and all of that, or what you know is going on behind you. Just don't take your eyes off forward. Keep forward focused. Don't take your eyes off the prize, because all these tests and trials and tribulations that are put in your path are all done to try and nudge you off your path. The tempters come along to put temptations in your path to try and get you to sway, either by losing your temper, losing your patience, acting out of character, falling back into old ways, falling back on addictions, that sort of thing. They're there to tempt you to see if it's, like the tempting the hand of fate. And if you give into it, that's when you can be signing yourself over to the devil. So don't take your eyes off the end goal. Keep your eyes on the finish line, because it's a constant reminder of why you're going through it. And I promise you, when you get to the finish line and it's all over and done with, and you've got your justice, or you've got what it is you want out of it, you absolutely will not regret it. I haven't gotten to my finish line yet, but I can see it. But already I can tell you that I don't regret, even with the shock of what's happened. It's like, okay, but now they're going to have to pay me. So is that a bad thing? And I'm still going to make the animated version. So they're not going to stop me. It was my original idea. So yeah. So just keep swimming. Just keep moving forward. The more the more that is happening to me, the more I'm starting to realise it's because the stuff that I'm creating is high quality content. Um, so, yeah, they're stealing from me because I'm that good. God is. God is that good. He is the ultimate creator, but my ideas, my stories, and all of that, my content, I get stolen from because it's high quality. I only create the best. If I'm going to be in competition with people, I want to stand out from the competition. And that's why people see my stuff and they think, oh, that's a good idea, I might nick it. And it's like, well, yeah, go and nick it, but you're going to be paying for it at the end, because I will find out. I always find out. The way I found out about my ex with his eBay shop and everything just falls into my lap. God just drops it in my lap. So now you know what to do. Don't panic. Logic, doubt, reason, trust your instincts. Remember, you're born with instincts. You're not born with intuition. You have to tune your intuition into your instincts. Your instincts will kick in first, and you'll know when it's your instincts because you feel it physically. Like, your central nervous system and your adrenal glands and all that, like you'll feel it. You'll get the rush. Your instincts are a physical interaction, whereas your intuition is an emotional interaction. And when your instincts kick in, your intuition kicks in, because then your intuition tells you how to survive what it is that you've physically become aware of. So you need to be mindful not to react in a negative way. Don't go punching things, don't go kicking things, don't go slamming things, don't get angry. Just be calm and say to God, what do you need me to do? How do I react to this? And he'll tell you what to do, and then just let him take over. Don't let people steal your stuff. When you've gone through the sort of stuff that we've gone through, to be able to have the right to just own what it is that we've created. Don't let people think they can walk all over you. Whoever it was that stole my idea, I can guarantee you didn't think for 1 second that I would ever find out what they'd done. But they'll be regretting it as soon as their bosses get hold of them. So there we go. So I'm sharing my story, so now you know what to do. I'm going to go and lay back now and listen to some music, listen to some calm. So I'm going to speak to you later, and I'll keep you posted. But I am going to make that movie. I need to start my games company first, and then I need to find a location for my foundation. And then we're going to be making the Dear Satan course, the animated version, the real version. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. So now you know what to do. And I shall speak to you later. Have a good evening. Ka kite anō. Mwah.